finish the NCI, the National Core Indicator Survey, they're going to move into what's called the Individual Interview Instrument, also referenced as an IQ. This is a questionnaire, and it's done a little bit more open-ended. It's more conversational. Instead of just asking yes or no questions, we want to know a little bit more about it. It's sometimes yes or no doesn't give us enough information. Tell us about your support plan. What are your goals on there? Who helped decide who was going to be your goals on your support plan? Who are the people that are providing services to you? We're going to capture information from the perspective of the person. We want to determine whether services are being implemented according to what your needs and expressed preferences and decisions are concerning your life. Person-centered review about the person, and is the person in charge? Is the person really help driving what services and providers that are working for them? So the iCubed is designed to get that information from your perspective, and it's gathering information specific to what your goals and your outcomes and your satisfaction is. So that's what the iCubed covers. Now the next couple of slides I'm going to just take you through real quick. There are 12 elements that we talk about when we cover an iCubed. Number one, we're going to talk about, first off, choice of services and supports. How did you pick who your support coordinator was, or who's helping you with your services? The idea that it should be a choice-based program. It shouldn't be people telling you who's going to work for you. As family members, did you know about options? Were you educated about what your options and availability was for services and supports? Depending on how decision-making, sometimes it's done in joint with the person, sometimes it's a team effort, whatever it might be, the circle of supports. How are choices being made? Are you an active participant in life's decisions? Hopefully, I think most of us like to be in charge a little bit of our lives, making key decisions. We don't not necessarily always be told, this is where you're going, this is what you're doing, these are the rules. You know, sometimes we like to have a little bit of freedom in our lives, and we like to be a part of that. This conversation, this tool is really designed to be able to hear from you. Are people giving you a say in things that are important to you? Are you the one who's directing the designs of your services? Every year, if you're a person receiving services, you do a support plan. Your support coordinator, your consultant meets with you to help set up when that support plan is going to be. They help decide who's going to be at the table, and you talk about goals. People might have suggestions to help figure out what your goals are, but ultimately, are you designing what it is? If you want to learn how to use the bus and get around town easier by yourself so you don't have to wait for someone to drive you, you're the one who's deciding that and picking out who's going to help you. So we want to get at how are you directing the design of your services to accomplish things. We're also looking at participating in review of services. So maybe you decided that you wanted to be able to use the bus system and get around your city or your local area so that you didn't have to wait for a ride to the mall, or you didn't have to wait for your mom or dad to be off work and take you at night. You wanted to be able to go by yourself. As you go through, you're going to find out through the year, are you working on that goal? Is it going okay with you? Maybe you need to bring everyone back to the table and have a meeting because it's not happening the way you want. You're not getting the opportunity to do what you're choosing to do. So you want to be a part of the review of those services. You don't just hopefully sit at the table once a year, decide what the goals are, and let a whole 12 months go by before everyone asks, how is it going? That's a long time before you can figure out every month, every couple of months, whatever the frequency might be, you want to be part of the discussion on how we're doing. Are we doing, or am I getting what I want? Am I accomplishing the goals that are important to me? Maybe you might have picked some goals, but you don't have the supports that you need to get there. So we want to make sure that if you've decided what it is that you want to accomplish and do in life, are the right people helping you? Do you have a job coach if you're looking to get a job? Do you have somebody helping you look at other places to live if you maybe want to move? Whatever those necessary supports might be in place. For CDC Plus participants, what's a little unique to them is many times their support system is the directly hired employees. It's the people you hired. Sometimes it's family members. It doesn't mean, however, that it's enough. You might need to look at your purchasing plan and look at who you have hired and maybe make some changes. This conversation a reviewer is asking from you is to get an idea, do you have enough supports in place to meet what your goals are? Freedom from abuse, neglect, and exploitation, safety, and the ability to take care of oneself and health are really foundational components. These are non-negotiable. I think it's very hard to have satisfaction with life and to feel content and feel like life is going okay with you if you're not free from abuse or neglect, if you're not healthy, and if you're not feeling safe. Those are really critical components that I think everyone agrees should be on a foundation for a quality life. So they're going to ask questions about that, gather some information, help see if you have an understanding of what abuse might be so you can protect yourself if you feel somebody might be hurting you or taking advantage of you at any time. Safety, a lot of times we do a lot to keep ourselves safe that allows us to not make decisions like ride a bus to the mall. But if you can understand safety, where to call for 911, maybe carry your own cell phone, whatever it might be to help you be safe, that allows you sometimes to be able to do different things that you weren't able to do before. Safety also has to do with the basics. What if your house caught fire? You know how to get out. Have you shown how to get in and out the door? Where do you go if there's an emergency, dialing 911? Any of those things can cover under safety. Health is kind of all-encompassing. We even have a whole separate tool that I'm going to talk about here in a minute. But do you have the best possible health that you have, that you can be, and do you have people that are helping you with that? Rights education, support to exercise right, dignity, respect, and privacy. One of the things that we support wholeheartedly for individuals with developmental and intellectual disabilities is that they should have the same say over their life as anybody else. Some of you might have guardians, someone who has legally stepped in to help you make certain choices and decisions. Some of you may not. At any point, it's understanding that you do have rights, that there shouldn't be people who are bossing you around, telling you what to do, and not giving you any option over that. With rights comes a little bit of responsibility and understanding certain risks that come into place. Reviewers just going to try to get understanding. You know, do you get your own mail? Can you use the telephone if you want to? Do you vote? If you're over 18, are you registered to vote? Do you know what that means for voting? Rights means different things to different people. For many, it's the most simplest of rights, the right to privacy, to be able to close your bedroom door and be left alone and not have somebody come in unless they knock on your door. That's about privacy, being able to talk on the phone without having somebody else around. These are different things, so we want to find out with any of the persons that we're talking to, what rights are most important to you, what's your understanding of rights, and how do the people that support you understand those rights and helping you with exercising them to the best of your ability. Achievement of goals, support to show progress made towards accomplishment of goals. Hopefully if you sat down at that support plan table and you made those goals, ideally you want to see that you're accomplishing something, that you're making progress. A lot of times you see things on paper, but then no one ever seems to get there. They just seem to be spinning their wheels. We're looking to see, are you accomplishing things? Are you achieving things? What's happened in your past year that you're really proud of? And if something's not happening, are people kind of stepping back and showing what they need to do to make it happen? Maybe you need to go back to the drawing board and reevaluate a little bit what your goals are and get a different team of supports helping with you. Satisfaction with supports and services. If you are receiving supports, you have people working with you on CDC, you have directly hired employees, people that are assisting you. Are you accomplishing the things? Are you satisfied with them? Going right to the very first one, you have a choice over who works for you. If you're not satisfied, talk to them about it. Ultimately, you can also exercise choice to make differences. And development of desired community roles. I think ideally we have our immediate family and people who are close to us, but many times we want more than that. We want to connect to people in our communities. We want to get out of the house. We want to make friends. We want to be a part of a club or a group, volunteer, contribute. So we're going to talk a little bit about what community roles are important to you. If there are things you want to do in this area, are people supporting you to accomplish those things? So those are the 12 life areas that the reviewer would be having a conversation with you about. It sounds like a lot, but the conversation just flows from one topic to another. The reviewer might not go through all 12 in a particular order. The idea is it's going to be more of a conversation. The National Core Indicator Survey will be very much like a survey. Yes, no, asking questions pretty much right from a piece of paper. This part will be a conversation, and at the end, they'll be able to go through those 12 areas and see, is it a yes or a no for you? Are you developing community roles? Is it a no because you need more help with things? Whatever it might be, that's what we're looking to gather that information for. The last tool that